Mike Tyson is widely regarded as the greatest display of explosive prowess in boxing history and undoubtedly has established himself in the Sports Hall of Fame. But no matter how strong you reckon you are, battling against a guy with a 5-inch height advantage and muscles that appear like they were carved out of stone, that's enough to make anyone break a sweat, right? Well, not the case here, because when you're up against someone known as the baddest man on the planet, all of your size and power mean nothing. In the pivotal year of 1988, Frank Bruno, the towering British heavyweight champion, a commanding figure at 6'3" and reach of 208 centimetres, challenged none other than the youngest world heavyweight champion in history, Mike Tyson, for his coveted title belt. This face-off of titans was a historic event in boxing history, and its story deserves to be told. Mike Tyson getting the better end of the fight against Frank Bruno with big muscles isn't just a one-time wonder. In fact, he proved it twice, and even more convincingly. So, let's delve into how these fights came to be, the hype surrounding them, the results, the aftermath, and the circumstances that brought these fighters up against each other once again after 7 years. Rise to glory, fighters' journeys and accomplishments. Mike Tyson was a beast entering into the professional boxing world. His debut match ended shortly in the first round with a technical knockout in his favor. During his debut year, he was undefeated, winning all 15 contests. This remarkable winning streak propelled him into the spotlight, attracting significant media attention. His first live televised matchup was against the experienced Jesse Ferguson, and Iron Mike delivered a crushing blow that fractured Ferguson's nose. Then Tyson went on to create boxing history on October 26, 1986, when he fought Trevor Berbick for the World Boxing Council Heavyweight Championship at the age of just 20 years and 4 months. By his 28th fight, Tyson had a remarkable record of 26 knockouts or technical knockouts. Following his victory over Michael Spinks in 1988, Tyson emerged as the most celebrated American fighter of the time, putting an end to any uncertainties about who the actual lineal champion was. With an incredible 35 victories and no losses, Tyson's reign was soon challenged by Frank Bruno, who aimed to become the first man to bring the championship title back to his home country, England. At 27 years old, Frank Bruno was no less of a beast himself. Upon entering the professional boxing world, Bruno set a record of 21 consecutive wins by knockouts. His streak came to an end against James "Bone Crusher" Smith, where Bruno was leading in points, but got knocked out in the last round of the match. However, this setback didn't deter the true Brit. He then went on to win 6 consecutive games, facing some very respectable opponents along the way and even becoming Europe's heavyweight champion. Bruno had accomplished a lot in his career, but one thing was missing: a world championship title. In 1986, he challenged Tim Witherspoon for the WBA champion title. Bruno was once again leading on the judges' scorecards for most of the fight, but got exhausted by the 11th round and was knocked out. Nevertheless, Bruno remained determined and began his journey to contend for the world title once again. With a record of 32 wins and 2 losses, he challenged the undisputed champion Tyson, who held the WBA, WBC, and IBF championship titles. Leading to the showdown, despite Bruno's popularity and his own impressive record of 32 wins, 31 of which were by knockout, he was still considered the underdog against the 22-year-old Tyson. After all, Tyson had fought 8 consecutive world title fights in just over 2 years and was in his absolute prime. However, Bruno had his chances, especially considering Tyson's serious problems before the fight. The anticipated showdown was originally fixed for October 8, 1988, at Wembley Stadium in Bruno's native England. However, Tyson found himself in a street fight on August 23rd, just under 2 months before the scheduled match. Tyson's midnight scuffle took place on a street corner with Mitch Green, whom he had previously defeated in the ring. The result of the fight left Tyson with a broken arm and Green with 5 stitches. This injury forced the fight to be postponed to October 22nd. Things took another serious and unexpected turn when Tyson was involved in a severe accident. His BMW crashed, leaving him unconscious on September 5th. The fight was postponed until December 17th due to injuries sustained during the accident. But this scheduled date had to be postponed again when Tyson's ex-wife Robin Givens filed for divorce and sued him for spousal abuse on October 7th, with Mike countersuing her a week later. These legal issues required Tyson to be close to his lawyers, leading to the fight being moved from Wembley Stadium to the USA. Then, Tyson's manager, Bill Caton, and his promoter, Don King, had financial disagreements. Therefore, the new date, January 14th, was also postponed. The on-and-off drama surrounding the fight intensified the anticipation, and on December 15th, 1988, it was announced that the bout would finally take place on February 25th, 1989, at the Las Vegas Hilton. Despite being the #1 contender for the heavyweight WBC and WBA titles, Bruno was still considered a huge underdog, with odds of 1-8 against him. This was even more remarkable considering all the turmoil Tyson had been through. It just goes to show what a formidable force Tyson was at just 22 years old. Notwithstanding facing all sorts of demoralizing comments, Bruno kept his head held high. He even went as far as to say that Mike Tyson was just a regular human being to him, not the baddest man on the planet. While Tyson was being hailed as Superman, Bruno insisted that he was the kryptonite. His words, "Dreams do come true," provided a glimmer of hope to the 2,000 Bruno fans who took the big risk of traveling to the USA for the fight. The highly anticipated fight, which had been cancelled and rearranged 5 times, was not only long awaited, but also represented the biggest payday for the British boxer. Bruno's purse was estimated to be around $3.6 million, the highest for any British boxer till that date, while Tyson's purse was approximately $7 million. Now let's weigh in on this matchup. A guy with a 5-inch height and 12-inch reach advantage going against the most hyped 22-year-old American boxer whose life has been a roller coaster. From car crashes to failed marriages, from being labeled manic-depressed by his ex-wife to conflicts with his manager. And just to top it off, this was Mike Tyson's first professional fight without his longtime trainer, Kevin Rooney, after he made some comments regarding the ex-wife of Tyson. But it doesn't end there. This was also Tyson's return to the ring after 8 months of being out of action, following more than 3.5 months since his professional debut. With all these concerns surrounding Mike Tyson, he still showed the world that personal life turmoil and physical advantages couldn't shake the confidence of a true warrior. Both fighters had an equal number of wins by knockouts and were returning to the ring after 8 months or more. The world eagerly awaited the showdown, with small talk buzzing everywhere. More than 2 million people tuned in to BBC Radio 2 on the edge of their seats to witness if Bruno could pull off the greatest upset on February 25th, 1989. Tyson was determined to retain his titles and unbeaten streak, while Bruno saw this as his second chance at becoming the world champion. This matchup truly lived up to all the hype. In the 1980s, the ticket price to witness history was about $700. Will Tyson's vicious and lightning-fast punches prevail, or will Bruno's towering size and knockout power be too much for the undisputed champion? This fight held significant importance beyond mere records. It was a battle for the world champion title of 3 out of the 4 major boxing bodies. The Hilton Las Vegas Stadium was electric with excitement as over 9,500 fans locked their gaze on the ring. In the blue corner, weighing 228 pounds, stood the challenger, Frank Bruno, ready to face the undisputed champion. Across from him, in the red corner, was Iron Mike Tyson, the fan favorite and heavyweight champion who weighed 218 pounds. As the referee pulled both fighters and gave instructions in the middle of the ring, Bruno locked eyes with Tyson, giving him a deathly stare without blinking. The height difference between the two guys became prominent as they stood side by side, heightening the tension of the occasion. The opening bell. Tyson and Bruno's first face-off in the ring. The opening bell echoes through the arena, signaling the start of the battle. Iron Mike charges forward with the intensity of a man on a mission to set a record for the fastest knockout. In a mere 12 seconds, a short right hook from Tyson sent Bruno crashing to the canvas near the ropes, an outcome many had already anticipated, marking a terrible start for Bruno. As the fans begin to contemplate Bruno's ability to withstand Tyson's explosive power, he quickly rises to his feet. Shrugging it off as if he simply lost his footing on the pavement, Bruno continues forward, unfazed by the early setback. The fights began once more, and the intensity now looked like Tyson's street brawl with Mitch Green, as both fighters clinched with one arm and unleashed relentless attacks with the other. For Bruno, there was nowhere to hide against the 5'10" wrecking ball. It was raw, unbridled violence. While most opponents tried to evade Iron Mike's devastating punches, Bruno dared to march forward and exchange blows. Bruno faced a flurry of punches, exceeding the endurance of any previous opponent in matches against Tyson. Tyson attempted leaping left hooks, but his swings were off target, nearly causing him to lose his footing twice. During one errant swing, he spun himself around on the ropes, inadvertently facing the spectators. Seizing the opportunity, Bruno landed a blow to the back of Tyson's head, prompting referee Steele to penalize Bruno with a deduction of a point for the foul. The opening round appeared to be entirely in Iron Mike's control until a sudden shift favored Bruno late in the round. A crisp left hook from Bruno found its mark on Tyson's chin, causing him to momentarily freeze before stumbling. Tyson's historically impenetrable armor was shattered, and for the first time in his professional career, the champion appeared shaken. The English supporters erupted in the arena as Tyson struggled to recover control. Unfortunately for Bruno, the round came to an end, allowing Tyson a moment of respite. However, if Bruno's attack had come earlier in the round, Tyson's shaky footwork, combined with Bruno's charge, might have rewritten boxing history. The first round of Tyson's battle against Bruno remains one of the most electrifying moments in heavyweight boxing history. While frequently overlooked, its suspense and significance are undeniable. Tyson appeared to reclaim control in the second round, hitting a thunderous right hand that left Bruno staggering against the ropes. Despite the constant attacks, Bruno had tremendous resilience and drive to endure Tyson's wrath. Bruno's spirit remained intact, but the potential of an upset faded. The rest of the fight saw Tyson dominating, with Bruno attempting to replicate the intensity of the first round, but falling short. However, Tyson showed signs of an amateur in certain instances during the second and third rounds, evidenced by his erratic attempts with wild jumping left hooks, resulting in missed punches and compromised footing. Still, Bruno lacked the necessary movement and quickness to capitalize on Tyson's blunders. In round 5, a succession of devastating uppercuts against the ropes prompted referee Richard Steele to intervene, signaling the end of Bruno's title aspirations. However, Bruno's dream of becoming a champion may not be over just yet. Tyson landed a number of quick uppercuts on Bruno's nose early in the 5th round, forcing it to bleed. Despite Bruno's jabs to Tyson's ribs, the tide soon turned. A powerful left hook to the jaw threw Bruno into the ropes, where Tyson unleashed a flurry of deadly blows. Bruno was vulnerable and taking many strong head smashes when referee Steele intervened at 2 minutes and 55 seconds left in the round, just as his trainer, Terry Lawless, entered the ring. Bruno remained on his feet, but clearly hurt, while Iron Mike retained his WBC, WBA, and IBF championship titles, with referee Steele awarding the victory via technical knockout. Despite Bruno's unsuccessful bid for the World Championship, he departed Las Vegas with both financial gain and immense respect. Even Mike Tyson acknowledged Bruno's impressive performance, particularly his first-round blow. Competing for the World Championship was a long-held ambition for Bruno, who took boxing as a gamble in the middle of his difficult life. Post-fight reflections, consequences, and legacy. Tyson only had one more fight in 1989 against Carl "The Truth" Williams, where Iron Mike knocked out Williams in the first round. However, life seemed to take a downturn for Tyson thereafter. Less than a year after the matchup with Frank Bruno, the once-feared boxer and baddest man on the planet lost the undisputed world title to Buster Douglas. Many considered this bout as a mere warm-up for Tyson, given Douglas's ranking, which stood at number 7 among heavyweight contenders. Mike Tyson reportedly indulged in partying the night before his fight and disregarded the need for adequate rest. His ego and prior successes led him to underestimate Buster Douglas, perceiving him as an amateur opponent whom he could easily defeat without rigorous training. Despite widespread belief that the fight was already decided, Douglas managed to defeat the undisputed champion by TKO in the 10th round, marking one of the most shocking upsets in modern sports history. This setback sent shockwaves around the world, stripping Mike Tyson of the famous status of unbeaten, which one can never restore once gone. It was an important moment for Tyson, making him humble and forcing him to reflect on himself and his approach to boxing. He recovered with spectacular first-round knockouts in his following 2 matches, showcasing his hunger for victory. Despite this, his path to the undisputed heavyweight championship was cut short when he was arrested and sentenced to 6 years in prison on March 26, 1992, for allegedly assaulting an 18-year-old female in a hotel room, a claim he continues to deny very strongly. He was released 3 years later in March of 1995. After failing to dethrone the undisputed champion, Bruno remained resilient, securing victories in 4 consecutive matchups, earning him another chance at the World Championship against Lennox Lewis in 1993. This bout marked the first time in history where both the challenger and defending champion were British. Unfortunately, Bruno fell short once more, leaving his dream of becoming a world champion unfulfilled. However, he refused to surrender. With unwavering determination and a warrior mindset, he continued his journey, dispatching Jesse Ferguson in the first round before claiming 2 more victories against heavyweight contenders. This series of wins qualified him for a 4th attempt at the World Championship. On the 2nd of September 1995, Bruno faced WBC champion Oliver McCall. Following a promising start, Bruno struggled with fatigue late in the fight, a persistent concern throughout his career. However, this time he persevered until the last bell, eventually winning by unanimous vote of the judges. Finally, Bruno accomplished his long-held dream of becoming a world champion. His accomplishment demonstrates that with consistent hard work, one can overcome difficulties and achieve their goals. Although his reign as champion was brief, fate would once again intertwine the paths of Iron Mike and the True Brit. The rematch. Tyson's pursuit of the WBC Heavyweight Championship. Mike Tyson's time in prison proved to be a transforming journey. After being released on parole, he resurfaced as a new man with major shifts not just in his physical appearance, but also in his religious views. Tyson often considers his 3 years in prison to be some of the greatest of his life, as he learned to stay calm in the face of hardship. Notably, he even left an indentation on the concrete floor of his cell. His return to the boxing ring marked a new chapter in his career. In his first comeback fight against Peter McNeely, Tyson secured victory by disqualification. Following this, he triumphed in his second comeback fight against Buster Mathis Jr., propelling him into contention for the WBC title. Don King, the promoter of both Mike Tyson and Oliver McCall, set up a deal that required whoever emerged as the WBC champion to defend the title against Tyson in their first defense. This deal paved the way for Tyson and Bruno's rematch. Bruno, then 34, had been a professional boxer for nearly 13 years, with a record of 40 victories and only 4 losses. Meanwhile, Tyson, eager to recapture one of the title belts he had held, entered the rematch at 29 years old with a 43-win record and a measly 1 loss. This fight took place at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Nevada, US, on March 16, 1996, over 7 years after their first encounter. This fight was the final fight of Bruno's boxing career and possibly his most devastating defeat. The bout turned out to be a one-sided affair, with Bruno unable to shake Tyson, who was on a redemption quest. Tyson attacked with ferocity right away. He fired a barrage of right-hand blows, forcing Bruno to grapple repeatedly to avoid the attack. Tyson's thunderous right hand stunned Bruno in the final minute of the first round, but he recovered, and both fighters started exchanging a few blows just before the bell rang. However, Bruno emerged from the exchange with a cut over his left eye. Round 2 mirrored the intensity of the first, with Bruno resorting to grappling to slow down Tyson's onslaught. Tyson successfully ducked Bruno's jab in the first minute of the third round before responding with a devastating 13-punch combination. Referee Mills Lane quickly got in the way, bringing the fight to an end. Tyson once again demonstrated that Bruno's fearsome size was insignificant in comparison to his abilities, defeating him via technical knockout. The aftermath. After 6 months as the WBC World Champion, Bruno's title was once again claimed by Iron Mike Tyson. Initially contemplating a return to the ring and a potential third matchup with Tyson, Bruno was advised by doctors that continuing to box could jeopardize his vision. Consequently, he announced his retirement from the sport. However, his lifelong struggle with mental illness persisted. Diagnosed with bipolar disorder, Bruno acknowledged in 2017 that it's a constant fight you are never winning, but you do get more experienced. While there's no denying Frank Bruno's legendary status, boasting an impressive record and knockout percentage while being deeply adored by Brits, some fans argue he lacked the killer instinct. To this day, debates ensue, with some considering him super underrated while others view him as merely decent and not exceptional. However, 2 things nobody can take away from. He was a world champion, and he remains the first person to rock Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was in pursuit of additional titles after securing the WBC from Bruno. With assistance from his promoter Don King, a match was arranged with Bruce Seldon, the reigning WBA champion at the time. Tyson unified the heavyweight division by effortlessly dispatching Seldon in the first round, boosting his record to 45 wins with 1 loss. However, his career took a downturn thereafter, with only 5 victories in his next 10 matchups. 2 of these losses were consecutive defeats to Evander Holyfield. Both fights remain controversial to this day, with Tyson receiving numerous headbutts in the first bout and the second match turning bizarrely bloody when Tyson bit both of Holyfield's ears, resulting in his disqualification. On the 11th of June 2005, Mike Tyson was defeated by an Irish boxer, Kevin McBride. Tyson later admitted that by this time he had lost interest in boxing and was only fighting for the payday. This bout marked his final professional fight, concluding his career with a record of 50 wins and 6 losses. Iron Mike's boxing career is one for the ages, with highs and lows that reflect a real fighter's character. Tyson's raw power and lightning-fast punches enchanted people across the world, from his remarkable rise as the youngest heavyweight champion to his explosive style in the ring. Tyson's popularity extended beyond the boxing ring, as his aggressive conduct, both inside and beyond the ring, frequently made headlines. Even after retirement, his celebrity status earned him cameo roles in a variety of films. Tyson was elected into the Boxing Hall of Fame in 2011 and the Vegas Hall of Fame in 2013. These medals recognized his long-lasting impact on boxing history, cementing his place as a legend. In 2020, Bruno traveled to the United States to join Tyson for a documentary project, marking a reunion between the two boxing icons. Their connection stretches decades before their first title match in 1989, when Tyson had already won 8 world championships. Reflecting on their shared history, Bruno recalled their sparring sessions in Catskill when Tyson was just 15 years old, witnessing his growth over the years. Well, this is the wrap on the incredible journeys of 2 boxing champions, Mike Tyson and Frank Bruno. Their journey is about more than simply victories and disappointments in the ring. It is also about enduring friendship and mutual respect. Tyson and Bruno have had an everlasting impact on the boxing world, from their early days sparring in the Catskills to their momentous title fights. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Drop comments for what would you like me to cover next.